Hello, nice to meet you. I'm George. Thanks for the beautiful introduction from Ruth. We met a year ago, as she said, in Zimbabwe, and yeah, let me take you on a little journey here. I'm a journalist. She said already I'm working with a record label. I did the first festival. I was lucky to do that in Cologne. I'm based in Munich, and the story began actually like with the label I've been working for. It's a small indie label. We've been working with urban African musicians. We've been going to different cities and putting together compilations on the urban pop music scene there. 10 years ago, where YouTube was not there and the scenes were not so accessible. That has changed. I mean, like it's really like it feels like a new age, basically, like of pop music in Africa right now happening. With the internet, everybody has HD videos, like high quality videos, and puts it up. And people from all over the world are basically consuming and watching. The diaspora seems to be quite an exciting time. So I started a blog where I kind of try to portray certain musicians that are big in their country, but not really known apart, like in different markets or like in Europe. That's basically the excitement that drives me, is the stories that happen in Africa in the different countries, because it's so eclectic. It's so many artists. I was really excited, like when I went first to Africa when I was 17. Back then it was the bongo flavor hip hop in Tanzania that really excited me, and I took a lot of tapes, bought them, and brought them home. And yeah, I mean this blog now basically turned into a festival. So I was lucky to apply for funds from the German cultural department of the government, and we came up with a festival, Urban Africa Festival, that just happened 2 weeks ago. So it's pretty, it's the first time we put it together. And we try basically to show what Africa's, which are the relevant artists in Africa right now, because I don't know, this guy, if you see him, Casper West, he's in South Africa huge, you know, like people really go crazy for him. They call him the Kanye West of Africa. And basically here, for him it was the first time in Germany to perform. And we try to bridge that gap kind of world music and global pop music to make these kind of artists accessible. Here on the right side you see Awa from Zimbabwe, who has also been involved has been working with In Place of War and the band project Ruth put together with female musicians. And yeah, we have artists from all kinds of countries in Africa. We were able to invite and made a like cultural hub in Cologne. And I show you a little trailer here that should start when I click here, I guess. Yeah, that was Zimbis actually, with whom I went to Zimbabwe, met Ruth and met Awa, and we worked on this track together. And that became the trailer of the festival. That has a motto. You can see there the hashtag MyFuture2020. So the idea is basically like to look on the specific artists and look on their reality, on their who are they? I mean, like what kind of stories they want to share with us, and where they're looking forward to, because they are all really hyped. Like on the left side, you see Gus Miller. He kickstarted a dance trend that went viral called Azonto. He's the king of Azonto, as people call him. And we talked about Casper. Major league DJs up there are the biggest hip hop DJs. They've been opening up in South Africa for 50 cents and the like. And you have there One Love, who's like a thinker in Ghana, a musician, very smart. He flips the messages when he raps. You can actually hear how he thinks and how he changes perspectives. He was in the US, so he has like kind of, he lived in the US for quite some time. And he knows both perspectives, and it's really interesting guy. He became the host of the festival and introduced us and the artists basically to the audience. And then we have Temi Dollface, who's like in Nigeria. She's a bit struggling as a pop artist because she has an approach of really, or the ambition of really becoming an international successful pop star. And yeah, for the ordinary mass audience in Lagos, I mean, you have 20 million inhabitants only in Lagos. That her approach is too, maybe too sophisticated or too she tries to really encounter the different market and goes the extra mile to make it attractive for an outside audience as well, or for a global audience, and not like the mainstream pop that's so popular, the Afrobeats kind of music that's so popular in Nigeria right now. So that was interesting, and we had basically like 4 days before the festival. But first, we have a look on the festival. We worked with all artists on a show together, like a 2 hours show. That was the highlight basically on the last day, where basically all artists performed songs, local songs, and songs they've been working on with local producers. And Casper West here was the highlight basically doing the last 4 songs of this show. And yeah, it was quite happy and lucky for everybody to make this actually happen, to give somebody like him who actually has no real publicity here in Europe, but is a huge star, give him a platform to actually show and speak also to the audience here in Europe what actually is happening in South Africa right now. Like, he's about to fill up Orlando Stadium, how he calls it, where 40,000 people will come end of the month. And he really writes history right now in South Africa, being this pop star, or he's giving like his people like the first fireworks they experienced in their life in the show, like this very international kind of way he performs, like on the stage, very inspired by the US on some point, like Kanye West and these big shows and festivals, and but at the same time also doing local groove codes quite so. And it was very interesting, like, to talk to him, and we had the chance that he actually like was open to speak with us. We had 4 days of an urban culture academy that we had different workshop. There was a beat workshop where we spoke about the local groove codes in Africa, like Kwaito from South Africa, like the post-apartheid pop music, and like that mingles and mixes with trap music from Atlanta right now. We have we're talking about Azonto from Ghana. Up there is Ghanaian Stallion, a German producer who's really successful right now with producing Afro trap music, and Buddy from Zimbabwe, who's also very forward-thinking when it comes to mixing local sounds with like an international production standards. And we had the local guys, obviously, like giving us their perspective, which is obviously the most interesting, because, like, you're not happening really to see guys like Gus Miller to talk about his relevance in his country. Like, I mean, like when he says something, the whole youth know his song basically, like from A to Z, they can sing it. And it was just quite an honor to have people like that telling us what actually is happening on the ground on a street level. We had this poetry workshop. They were telling about us about songwriting, how they basically approach, which was interesting and we tried to give like all the urban kind of art forms a platform. We did a urban dance workshop where Bella Garcia from Berlin, who works with like Seed, like a big dancehall band from Germany. And she was showing us her kind of, she's from Angola, she knows the Kuduro dances and stuff. So it was interesting to have her giving us an introduction to what she's up to, but also having like the likes of Casper West or the King of Azonto, Gus Miller, to basically like join them and show them how they do their moves. We all ate together. We had a wonderful place in Cologne called House of Miracles, Haus der Wunder. And we all, there was a cooking class basically, and we all ate together, so it was an amazing atmosphere, and it was very interesting for all the artists also to meet, because like the markets in Africa, they're really, like each country has its own pop music market that kind of connects recently through MTV, Africa, Channel O, where they kind of see each other on television, but they rarely have the chance to really meet. So all of the pop musicians from Africa were very excited to meet and discuss what they are all about and learn more about that. Like they were all really happy to connect there. We had a master class with Casper Nyovest. We were speaking to him about his approach of being this big pop star in South Africa and also portraying, like going to America, having these dreams and sharing these adventures he has in the US, coming there as nobody knows him, but being so big in South Africa and sharing this kind of stories. We were asking him like what he does basically to come here to perform in Germany. What is actually is it only just cool to basically show his country that he's also performing in Germany, or does he really has the ambition to understand the market and work with artists here and kind of build bridges? And we're really lucky here to have him and talk to us for an hour almost, because in South Africa he's really exclusive. Like he almost features he keeps like really exclusive, like from the other pop stars. He never really comes down like on the after party. Awa told me, like the Zimbabwean singer and rapper who we saw before, that she went to 10 concerts of him and she never saw him basically like afterwards being there to talk to or being like at the after party. Like he stayed till the morning with us and he was there for all the artists that were there could come and ask him questions. So it became a really interesting, vibrant kind of discussion. That we were really lucky to have him opening himself up to us and cooling down from all the stardom in South Africa. Exciting. Megalo, the German equivalent to Casper in a way, like the most successful Afro trap artist, was also there, and we were lucky to get them also together. They were recording in the radio. So he has a mother in Nigeria. He always he goes there recently once in a while doing projects there. So it was interesting to hear what he has to say about his approach of what does he think about, is it interesting for him basically the South African market or the Nigerian market, where the big pop stars portray themselves driving big Hummer Jeeps or Luxus stretched limousines. Is that actually something he also, how does he relate to that? So I think it's a lot of need to talk about all these kind of different parallel markets and how they how you relate to them. So that was really interesting, actually, like to have them, and we were lucky that all the artists were excited to come and open themselves up to us and speak about all these very recent developments. We had Maria McCloy. She's an amazing journalist. She works with music. She was working for MTV Base Africa. And now she has her own fashion brand, and it was really interesting to have her speak on fashion in South Africa. Even like Casper Nyovest and his management was really surprised about what she said about South African culture. Like for example, the way she dresses with the necklaces and stuff. Like when she dresses like this in Johannesburg, people tell her like, you have a nice Heritage Day dressing, and she's like, no, that's my ordinary dressing, how I dress up every day, and we should live our culture, you know, like, and not only basically like take the American suits and whatnot, that basically has all this kind of background of colonization and so on and so on. So she really is an ambassador for like a new kind of South African identity after the apartheid. So that even was inspiring to a lot of South African guests that came who wanted to talk to her afterwards. And not last, but almost finished. We had One Love doing a presentation on urban street art festivals and urban music festivals in Africa. He was talking to Adebantu in Nigeria, who runs Afropolitan Vibes in Lagos, like a festival there, and we were able to have people basically like who organized festivals speaking to the audience directly. Mode 9, a hip-hop pioneer from Lagos, was giving us a short hip-hop history on his country. We were speaking about the crisis in Mali with Master Zumi, who's a big rapper. and Ahmed Kedi, who they burned his guitar, you know, like during the conflict in Mali. He went to Bamako as a refugee, like from the north, and so on. Yeah, I mean, we were really lucky to create this hub in Cologne, that people came and were connecting. Like, that was basically the main idea, and I think it was really fruitful. Like, everybody was really linking up with each other, learning from each other, and yeah, I hope we can come up with another edition. I don't know, I spoke already 15 minutes, it says, so I think we won't show the video and leave it by that. If you have questions, you can maybe talk to me now or later. Thank you.